Wow, people wey suppose talk true to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo touchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. They touch like every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do even no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Aha. Now you don't hear, oh. All these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get waiting supposed get for this country. And I never hear something. Now go hear one, my ego. You go show na paper. My ego diary political. So my people make you shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Ha, this one not they off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo.
Hello there. Sorry, pardon me, right? I was in between. So, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegun live. So, thank you so much for joining me, brethren. Please let me know if you can actually hear this clearly, like loud and clear. Just before we kind of like continue, now I'm going to get the music on. Just 1 sec. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me once again. Remember, as you are tuning in, kindly read beyond just the caption of the broadcast. All right, read the description as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayego is live. The line is working today, I believe, and you can phone in and be part of this convo. this afternoon or this morning. So to those of you who have read the caption of the broadcasts, yeah, the rider is about a bill that the Ronukus are currently weaponizing on social media. I don't know what it is outside the social media, right? But yeah, we'll have a chat around that this afternoon. Thank you. Indigenous Bill. You know, they are currently doing what they call the constitutional amendments in Nigeria right now. And there's some amendments. So there are some amendments, alterations, and what have you going on right now. One of them is the Indigenous Bill. I'll tell you about it in case if you haven't heard it. So the Ronukus are currently weaponizing that to further their campaign of hatred, campaign of hate and others. So share this broadcast.
Lórí Facebook. YouTube.
Also in their supposed constitutional amendment or proposal, whatever, amendment rather, they are now trying to pair the honey of Ife as pairing with the Sultan of Sokoto as the co-chair of the Nigeria Traditional Rulers Council, or being a council of traditional rulers, wherever. So that in itself is also creating its own controversy, as others are like, are we not part of, you know? Thank you. So good morning to you once again, brethren. Good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegun, as you can see on the screen. And to those of you who have shared the broadcast, I want to say thank you to you, okay? And to those who are just joining us, please do so before you get fully into this. In the last few days, surprisingly, right, I have been noticing this constant, more or less like controlled form of a campaign. This, you know, this tribal, divisive, hateful, bigoted messages directed as usual, or sorry, coming from one direction to the usual target, the Igbos. And I was like, hang on. So I started digging. And what was that? The Nigerian, National Assembly right now, they have been on this constitution amendment, right? Where they want to, rather than write a brand new constitution as supposedly democratic country, and do away with this military decree 24. So they have decided to keep patching and patching and patching. And the more they patch, the more controversial and the more divided the contraption is. Because the people are not really asked what they really want. Rather, they are being presented with already premeditated or predetermined conclusion. And so you are going to debate over it. So they want to create more states, because according to them, that is what will spread development. Wrong. which means they will just create more offices for their, their political associates. So none of this is ever going to change the mismanaged, the badly run Nigeria. No. So the single proposal that majority of them have been shying away from is that let people be asked, do you want one Nigeria, or you just want your own independent autonomous region, even if you're still part of this contraption? They are not asking them. And there is reason for that. Because if that question is popped today, there is a chance that majority of those indigenous people of this current contraption are going to opt out and say, you know what, we'd rather be autonomous, an autonomous region, rather than be part of this fake contraption. But again, they are not asking people that. So they want to create what they think is the solution. Currently in Nigeria, their law says as a Nigerian, all right, you can live anywhere you want in Nigeria. You can live, you can work, you can do business in any part of Nigeria. That is on paper. Only few actually really, give that a shot. So by law, as a Nigerian, you can live anywhere. You can vote where you are living. But there is something. Nigeria is a country that is forced together without the consent of the people, right? They have, we are like ancestral people, kind of like indigenous people. And what makes us indigenous is that the land where we currently, dwell, right? They are lands that were inherited from our own ancestors, who also inherited that from their own ancestors, talking about centuries of generations and who have now become indigenous to their land. People are not found wanting. Every part of Nigeria, or everyone that is part of Nigeria today, except for a few places where people have been established that this is us. The only people, the only, people, the only people displacing people, dislodging them from their ancestral land, dislodging them from their indigenous land and all that, disconnecting them, is no other than the government. And then lately, the Fulani terrorists and their sponsor. So people knows where they come from. They know who they are. And they don't even need a politician to explain that to them or trying to twist them and all that. So the real problem are not being addressed. The problem of disjointed union, a union that was never of our own making. It was foisted, we were forced together, and then they foisted this place on us. And here we are, unable to actually make it work. So the only way it could work is when you ask these people, and say, okay, how do you want to be governed? But they are not interested in that. Rather, they continue to steer more controversies, more divisive rhetorics and all of that. And now in this Nigeria of today, right, this is the tough of the Ronukus, if we are being honest. The Ronukus have been screaming at the top of their lungs that whoever cares to listen, that anybody who openly criticize or oppose Tifnumbu or APC is considered as enemy of Yorubas. You see, this jaundiced, myopic reasoning, we have a sizable number of them who actually continue to push this. Now, around that time is when another, what's it they call them? Now, loquacious Igbo politician decided to push a bill called Indigenous Bill. What's in that? Benjamin Kalu, that mofo that has become more or less like a cause to just like others, so a cause to the Igbos, especially since the emergence of a DCPC. I won't go too much into that, but this particular one. So it is said that Benjamin Kalu and others, they were pushing in fact, they've actually submitted a bill that has passed the first reading, second reading, and what was in that? They are pushing a law that would then make everyone, for instance, now, me as a Yoruba man, I am a Yoruba man and I'm proud as a Yoruba man. I'm proud of that heritage. No joke, right? And I don't want to be anything else. I don't want to be Igbo. I don't want to be Hausa. I don't want to be Kanuri. I don't want to be British. Do you understand that, right? I'm a Yoruba and I'm kind of like happy with that. All right. Now, if I decide to go and live in Britain, for instance, it simply means that, you see, if their law says, oh, to become British by marriage, which is also something like that, by marriage, it also, mind you, by marriage in Nigeria, we have had what they call the intermarital kind of like, bond or bonding, where we've had people who have married from other tribe and they have kind of like, in that regard, right, they've sort of like shared their ancestral, blood linkage and the rest of that. You see somebody will say, oh, my mom is Hausa, my dad is Yoruba, so I'm Yoruba. And I can also be Hausa as well. That kind of a thing, like dual heritage of a thing. So that too is there, is not being taken off. But politicians decided to wade into that, right? Make mess of it. Ignore what is real problems, right? And make this one of probably their new problems. And what is that? So they are proposing a bill that, not proposing, in fact, currently is past the second reading. So the bill is to make every person, right? If you are born outside your ancestral or indigenous enclave in Nigeria, right? So if you are born, for instance, if you are an Igbo person and you are born in Abeokuta, for example, so you have automatically become a Yoruba by that law. So it simply means Chima, whose parents are from Okigwe, but he's born in Abeokuta, and automatically he is an indigene of Abeokuta. That is so wrong, considering the fact that Nigeria citizenship already gave you that, right? If Chima is born in Lagos, all right, Chima is a Nigerian. He's got all the right of every Nigerian to run and do whatever he wants to do in that Lagos, except to run for office. I have to actually mention that too. Just to let you know that this indigenous of a thing or ancestral connection of a thing is so strong in that contraption that it also exposes their fraudulent one Nigeria as well. So let me break that down. So as a Nigerian, normally in a working country, sure you get as a Nigerian, you are supposed to be entitled to live anywhere, work anywhere, do business anywhere, and then vote anywhere and be voted for anywhere that you have resided for a certain period of time, maybe 3 years or 5 years, paid your taxes and all of that. So as a citizen of one country, but the truth is that there is no one Nigeria. It's all fake. So an Igbo man that, maybe an Igbo man has a chance to run in Lagos as a Lagosian born in Lagos, all right? But an Igbo man can't run for any office in Abeokuta because he's born in Abeokuta, right? Because he will tell you that he's not indigenous to Abeokuta. He's not indigenous to Ijebu. An Hausa man can't come down to Udogbolu and say he wants to be the local government chairman of Udogbolu. It can't happen. So do you see the what do you call that? The contradiction in what was supposed to be one country. If they all agreed to actually be one, that wouldn't have been an issue, but it is an issue. So they made a proposal, or should I say the bill passed the second reading in March. This is end of July. Since March, there was no wind, there's no much force and all that until last a few days, when, as if it's pretty much like, choreographed. Give me a sec. Like it is choreographed and say, hey, hang on, today, can we just go on and push that the Igbos are trying to force themselves, they want to take over Yoruba land. That is why they are pushing the indigenous bill. I bet some of you here who are like Igbos from the southeast of Nigeria probably never even heard of this bill until now, right? So you'll see somebody and you'll be wondering and say, why should the Igbos want to take over our land? And say, which land? Alaye, you don't even get land. Hang on, where did you get that from? You say, have you heard about the bill that one Igbo man is pushing? That Igbo man is saying that, you see, if you are born outside your own, your own region, right, you can automatically become an indigenous of that place. Why would they, So when you hear that, you'll be like, no, I don't want to be Yoruba. At least, I have to be honest with you, as much as a lot of our people enjoys their, intertribal relationships and the rest of that. I am here to see any Igbo man that is like desperate or begging to be a Yoruba man. And I'm here to see a Yoruba man who wants to be an Igbo man, or a Fulani man who wants to be an Ibibio person, or a Jaw woman who is tired of being a Jaw and she can't wait to become a Fulani. So you see these criminal politicians, right? So they're pushing this, and the Ronukus, they have grabbed it. Sorry, I just seen one Ashiri deal. Moshudi. Mabino Moshudi. Like they don't know that but just bye. There's a chance that give me a circle. So there's a chance that Odishi become ya. Moshudi. Washidi ni o. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣe. Moshudi. So the point I'm trying to make here is this. I don't want to be Igbo. No Igbo probably want to be Yoruba. So what that simply means is that there are things that are supposed to be like real priority in a way, right? Where they could dedicate all their time than what they are doing. And then the Ronukus that have weaponized this, maybe some of them will join us in this chat. And once we see them, I can take care of them. So the Ronukus, averagely, they are the sewage dwellers, the worst, the dredge of the society. Most of them who appear to be educated, right? That's actually what makes it worse. So an average Ronuku that is suffering and smiling inside that sewage that is dwelling or living, right, is so triggered. Since, like I said, it's been choreographed. It's been like, oh, you know what? Let us go and push this one today. Right? Let's go and push this one today. And say they are coming, they are using law to come and change, to come and take over our land. An average Ronuku is an hungry individual that can't even afford a 3 square meal. And right there, he's so triggered that some people are coming to take his land. They've told them that, which land? In Papa no get land, in Mama no get land. Possibly most of his own ancestors are probably, some of them who also kind of like inherited lands that we are talking about land, because land is so important. People's connection with their land is so important, because when you look at those lands, some of you will look at the lands and you'll be like, oh, they're just lands. They are not just lands. Those are the lands that actually, takes in our own ancestors for hundreds, if not thousands of years. They died, they toiled, they sweated, they bled, they died on those land that you see. They are not just lands that you can say, go and take another one there. Whose land are you going to take? But an average Ronukus, beggar Ronukus, what do you call it, suffering and smiling Ronuku, is told that the reason why he is poor, wretched, poorly educated, and obviously right now being misdirected, is because some people are coming to take his land. And when I see messages like this, I love tackling them from front so that everybody can at least know where you belong. All right? When I say where you belong, it simply means that if the criminals who are in charge of Nigeria really cares, I have broken this down a few times, okay? And I'll do it again. The breakup of Nigeria, it's like in 2 ways, options. So nobody say you don't even get option, you get 2. The first one is outright. May everybody go a separate way. We'll stop pretending. Let everybody stop pretending. Go your separate ways. I'll go mine. Straightforward. And we'll still be neighbors, like sharing border and all of that stuff, and trade. And what have you? Whoever wants to come to any other side, you get to know where you are going, and you can make up make your choices and all that. The second one is that, okay, that you love this contraption so much, one Nigeria. How about everybody stays in their region? Not stays like that. I mean, everybody controls their own region. in which if I am crossing from Onitsha to the part of what do you call the Niger, the Delta Edo side, if they are their own region, governed by their own laws, so I will get to know where I'm going, and I will have to be very careful. Do you understand that? By making sure that, you see, whatever it is, their own laws and norms and whatever I would have to abide. So not even just that, especially on the issue of insecurity, which has further polarized that contraption, if we are being honest, right? So, two options. Anything apart from this is a pure deceit and fuckery. You get? So, a Ronuku that is currently being denied proper education, a Ronuku that managed to get poor education and currently is jobless, she's jobless. They are hiring them on social media, offering them 20,000 naira to keep pushing rhetorics and narratives that says somebody is coming to take their land. And when you look at them, these are very wretched of the society. They have nothing. Nothing. Most of them are unemployed, unemployable. There's a difference between being unemployed and unemployable. You see, if you are employable and you have no job right now, that means you just currently don't have job now, unemployed. But at the same time, tomorrow you may have a job. Most of these Ronukus are complete stark dredge. They are unemployed, unemployable ever. And the only job they could give to them is this possibly 8 years of bigotry of Tifnumbu. And when they are done with them, they will leave them in the lodge. But how could people be so stupid and so gullible enough, right, that the move of criminal politicians, as we have been witnessing, right, the move of the criminal politicians got you so distracted that another set of criminal politicians are now weaponizing what ordinarily never serves the interest of anybody. Benjamin Kalu's whatever agenda doesn't serve the Igbo, doesn't serve anybody. But the fact that he's an Igbo person is a fit for their bigotry agenda. I don't know if you have come across it. It's trending everywhere. They are making it more or less like the Igbos came together. And they now said, you know what? We want to be indigenous of another place. Who wants to be indigenous of any other place? Who? Anyway, here are other things that were actually said in March. Now, you see this video, when it gets to like 1:57 minute, 1 minute 57 seconds, that's the part of the indigenous nonsense they are pushing. Kill the bill, fine. Or why would you make that an opportunity to weaponize your tribal, ethnic, religious bigotry that has kept you so divided? And look at the criminals who are milking you. Kalu is about to go and collect another 40 to 50 trillion naira debt, basic, on your name. But you will not get any, you will not get 1 foot of, one foot of land. Is on social media, spreading this hatred, funded or weaponized by your oppressors. Now I'll play this, right? I'll come back. The line is pretty much open though, but we'll come back to that. Here was some of the abuse they were pushing. This was far back in March, when it gets to 2 minutes. Listen.
A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended by amending Part 1 of the first schedule and creating additional 3 states, Oki-Ogun State, Ijebu State, and Ife, Ijesa State, and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to make provision for the creation of Tiga State from the present Kano State with headquarters in Rano and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended to create a new state in the southeastern region of Nigeria known as Olu State and for related matters. Second reading. To create an additional state in the southeast region of Nigeria carved from the existing 5 states to be known as Etiti State with capital at Okigwe and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to establish and provide roles for traditional rulers in Nigeria and provide for the recognition of the advisory law of traditional rulers in the Constitution and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to grant citizenship rights to spouses of women from Nigeria, specify the minimum number of youths and women that may be appointed into specific offices and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended to guarantee indigenous status to persons by reason of death or continued residence for a period not less than 10 years or by reason of marriage and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to include citizenship by investment as one of the classes of citizenship in Nigeria, provide for the acquisition of Nigerian citizenship by qualified foreign investors who meet specified investment thresholds and for related matters. Second reading. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to review the penalties for certain capital offenses in alignment with relevant international best practices and for related.
We don't need the rest. Sorry about that. Somebody said that the audio is poor. So I hold my mic again. It gets better when I hold the microphone, even though it makes me go like, yeah. So another person also said that it's actually a good idea if you want to build a country, you know, like if foreigners can become citizens of Nigeria. Do you understand, Anna? So for instance, now me, by virtue of my own residency in the UK, okay, so I can be British by that paper, nothing beyond that, and whatever privilege that comes with that British passport, that's just that. That will never make me a Londoner. It won't make me a Glaswegian. It won't make me a Scottish. Even if I call myself, oh yeah, I won't even call myself Scottish. Together now. So there's something about indigenous, all right? There is originality of it, and you can't adopt it. I can have a baby with you, like I have a child with you, and that child would inherit, what do you call it, to background in that sense, Abi. Or you can't, I can't say, oh, because I have lived in this country for nearly 14 years now, or I have lived in Scotland for nearly 14 years, and Scotland is part of the United Kingdom as a country. So United Kingdom government will give me the British passports. Now, British passports just kind of like confer on me, you know, the privilege and to travel to do this or that and all that stuff. That won't, and that may be addressed or called British, right, by that paper. But I'm not British, because to be British, you have to be either from Scotland, which is part of, or you have to be English, which is the England. You have to be Welsh, or you have to be Irish, Northern Irish, or Scottish. Even within Scotland, right, there are like further other tribes. No, Shina tribe, I will call them, like other subgroups who's their own, their own indigenous tribal connection to their land is even like also deeper and deeper. So when you have 4 regions that comes together and they say, oh, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, English, they call them British. So British, everyone is British. Well, everyone is not Scottish. Every British is not Scottish. Every Scot is British. Every English is British. Right? Do you get that now? But not every English is Scottish. Not every Welsh is Scottish or Irish Welsh. It doesn't work that way. So similarly in Nigeria, I suppose, assuming you have a country, but you know you don't. You don't. This is not how to build a country. There's nothing called national connection, national cohesion that you can say, oh, if not for this. I've been trying to find that if it existed before, even faintly, the line is now blurred or even gone. Doesn't exist anymore. And this is the truth. Now, there's nothing wrong if you feel like it is redeemable. It is an opinion. And there's nothing wrong if we say it is irredeemable as well. It is also an opinion. But ours can be backed with antecedent, precedent, and, evidence of what has happened that prompted us to say now is irredeemable. You get that now? So, Nigeria already granted you a worthless citizenship because it's almost worthless. Yeah. Nigeria is a place where, this is why we said it's a fake place, it's not real. I'll tell you again. Nigeria is a place where, by law, Mayegu General, I can practice any religion that I want, anywhere, anytime, and nobody has the right to question me. But in real life, is that true? Is it true in real life? Let's be honest, is that true? Have you not read about how the Ilorin Muslims, Ilorin Afars, have been waging endless war against the traditionalists in the same country? They are supposed to be the same citizens, the same right, in the same place. The traditionalists didn't go to mosque and take it over. They didn't go to church and take it over, right? But the Islamists in Kwara, I don't even want to tell you about the Islamists in the Sharia North. Those ones will kill you straight away. In Nigeria, straight up. But I'm supposed to be a Nigerian that has rights. Oh, I'm a businessman. I'm interested in trading legal business. Now I intend to open up, hotels, drinking joints, and the rest of that, hospitality business, in northern part of Nigeria. People will be telling me that I am looking for trouble. And if I get killed, they would praise my killers and say, I caused it. Why would you leave your place and come to northern Nigeria and be selling ogogoro? Ogogoro is not illegal in Nigeria. It is not. But the religious fanatics can get me killed without any consequence or consequences in that contraption. They've done it. They have. So this is why people like us believe that it is a fake place. Stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending that you could make something out of nothing. You can build something good out of a trash. It doesn't work that way. But good luck if you think, yeah, it is possible. At least there are those who believe that a donkey spoke to a man because God made him speak. I'm not questioning your faith. I'm just saying that sometimes some of us just want to be honest. As much as our honesty or our bluntness can be considered, can be seen as a rude. And so others can say, oh, it is condescending. No, being honest is not condescending. It shouldn't be, Except if it was a lie. So the idea of them passing indigenous this or indigenous that doesn't serve the interest of anybody in that contraption. No one's and we are still pointing out the real issue to say, hey, rather than waste your time on this frivolity that continue to, keep people divided, something that the bigoted Ronukus have always been so happy to amplify, weaponize, and go as far as attacking people physically for this. Here is another one. In Nigeria, I don't know how they did it, and I bet the criminals who wrote your fake constitution did it. The African Wahala. Come and hear this. So, Director's Court, Lababs, all of you were there. And maybe some of you actually knew then, right? They said that it is, in Nigeria, the Sultan of Sokoto is the permanent chairman of the Nigerian Muslims
is like a lifetime chairman, Sultan of Sokoto. So meaning all Nigerian Muslims are under the Fulani rulership, whether you like it or not. And there are those who are willing and ready to start a jihad. If any of you from outside northern Nigeria, even within Yoruba land, we have those who are ready to start a jihad. If you dare challenge what I just told you now. Now that is religion. The Nigerian traditional rulers. Nigeria traditional rulers, the Obis, the Obas, the, what do you call them? Until now, they said that the Sultan of Sokoto is their lifetime president or lifetime chairman. Like, you understand, like, nobody should contest or compete it with him. All your paramount rulers from everywhere, there could be anything, but as long as this contraption, Nigeria, is concerned, they are under your Sultan of Sokoto. She Sultan of Sokoto na royal father. Abi more history. History of Sultan of Sokoto. Is that a royal father? The Fulani jihadist, like Alhaji Shekau, led by Uthman Danfodio, slaughtered the local leaders of the Hausas and other tribes that are in between the Hausa land at the time. And then the Fulani Daran that's never been a king or anything anywhere suddenly appointed a sultan, and that sultan is like it's when you say the chief of it's like the preacher. You understand now? The one that they have now turned to royal is Royal Highness. It's Royal Highness in Nigeria historically. Historically. So today, that Sultan of Sokoto is now, not now, has been the chairman, like the lifetime chairman of, and they said that is the British. They said not British, not Britain, ranked them. I don't have any record of that. But of course, say it is Nigeria. Not all those things has to be written. They don't have to be written. Somebody just needs to say it, and others will just say, really? So it's a place where they ranked them. I'm a Yoruba man, and my own king is called the Alaye of Odogbolu. Alaye, the owners of this art, so to say, Alaye of Odogbolu, because it's the second to the gods. It's like the messenger of the gods on earth. Sure you get. So the Alaye as our king, and that's our own Alaye by ranking as Yoruba concern. So as Ijebu concern, to start with, Awujale of Ijebu land is our own paramount ruler. He is the king that make other kings. Do you get that now? He is a king that give crowns to other kings from all the surrounding towns and villages. So therefore, when you see one Awujale like that, there are more than 200 other kings. Small kings of small towns, big towns under Awujale of Ijebu land. So you don't just see him with that Izirukere and say, "Oh, is that the king?" And I believe that I don't know if that's the same with the Honey of Ife, but I am very sure that's the same with the Alaafin of Oyo. Is a paramount ruler too. Alaafin of Honey of Ife is not a king. Honey of Ife is the chief priest. He is not a king. However, over time, politically, he's been lifted to that size, and somehow, he's been compared to another chief priest of the Fulanis, the Sultan of Sokoto. So, Sultan of Sokoto, Honey of Ife, the two of them who happen to be like, these are not kings. But today in Nigeria, in this disjointed contraption, these two are now they want to pair Honey with the Sultan of Sokoto, and these two will now be in charge of the Nigerian royal family. So all of you will get your own. Alaafin of Oyo is another king that make kings. I don't know how you do it in your own tribe or your own ethnic group and all that, but I'm just giving you instances of ours here, right? So if you see Alake of Egba, that king of Egba, it's not just Alake just there. So he's also Alake that makes other kings. So when you see kings that crown other kings, They are called paramount rulers. So all these paramount rulers, they scattered everywhere. And every tribe is unique, in my own opinion. Every tribe is unique. Every ethnic nationality is very much unique. And a system that never really acknowledges this, a system that is grading them based on their political relevance to this establishment, right? Without the people, we never actually represent a true picture of things. And that's exactly what is going on there. So people are kind of like concerned. What about the Oba of Benin? What about the Obi of Onitsha? What about the Guam of Jos? What about the Adara of Adara Kingdom? People started kind of like mentioning names of other paramount rulers all over the place. And they are coming down to, are you now saying that everybody is under these two now? Nigeria don't fuck already, right? So this is also part of that. I'm keeping my line open though, because I want to make sure that we try that line this afternoon. So finally, there is this part that after all said and done, okay, there's something we all need to be reminded of. There are Kalu on secondo. Right. Sorry, give me a sec. So Kalu has received the approval of the National Assembly to go and take $21 billion, 2.2 billion euros, 6.5 million euro grants, 15 billion yen, Japanese yen, all of this to fund 2025 budget. The same demo that are kind of currently falsifying data, lying to all of you, pushing the agenda. He has revived this. He has increased the IGR of this. He has increased the all those nonsense. Give me 1 second. So we just received now that Kalu, who himself also just got the approval of the National Assembly. I think it was last week. So what that simply means is that Nigeria's current debt is over 200 trillion, but they are not making that official yet. Do you understand? So they're making that official. What do you call it? One president, I think they say is 149 to 150 trillion naira. That's how much Nigeria debt is. Lies. Now, if you convert this new loan approval and when Tinubu finally gets the money, if you convert the whole thing to naira, Nigeria naira, it all comes to nearly 41 trillion. 41 trillion naira. That's how much it will come to when you convert all the money. Now, 41 trillion naira. Now, if you say, Kalu that told you that they are doing a policy that they are giving local government more money now, I have done analysis on this before. If many of you can remember, I said when Bukwari was there, right? A dollar was 420 naira, 425 naira to $1. So a local government here in Nigeria then were receiving, each local government, I'm talking about the list now. The least local government in Nigeria then was receiving at least 250 million naira. So what that means is that when you look at that 250 million naira, I'm a very terrible math guy, so I'm just going to give you random close to or a bit above a figure now, okay? So when you do the division, right? So how much is going to make $1 million? $1 million would be 400. No, hang on, sorry. They were receiving as the local government that received least at the time was receiving nothing less than 450 million naira. Go and verify it so as at 2023. So exchange rate was 420 naira. So that simply put, you can simply put it that a local government in Nigeria that received the lowest allowance under Bukwari received at least $1 million every month. It shock you? No, shock you. Don't let it shock you. That's just what that is. But they stole it. They stole the money, of course. Then Tiflumbu came, or Angon, and then the debt of Nigeria, officially then, they put it at 104 billion. right? 104 billion means 100 billion. That's going to be like 80 something trillion or so. That's what they put it at, but that figure itself is not really accurate. But let's work with it. Okay, let's work with that. So today, they will tell you that a local government receives as much as, or the least paid local government in Nigeria today receive as much as 600, 700 million naira. There are those that receives as much as 1.2 billion today. 1.2 billion. Now we'll do the conversion. Let's do the conversion. Let's assume that a local government that was receiving 450 million in 2023 now receives 1.2 billion. Do you think that local government got more money in value or less? Tifnumbunomic. I mean, I'm not an economist, but I think you have an idea where I'm going with that, Abi. You do. 1.2 billion in 2025 allocation, or 450 million in 2023. Which one do you think, in today's economic reality, which one do you think is more? I'll help you. So, in 2023, 450 million naira is more than $1 million. You do listen? Because you are going to need $1.1 million to get a cash of, or if you have a cash of 450 million in 2023, you will get $1.1 million. In 2025, 1.2 billion is less than $700,000. So now answer me again. Do you think that Tifnumbu and his propagandists telling you that their local governments are making more money now because of Tifnumbu, do you think they get sense? Or do you think you get sense for believing them? They've destroyed your economy. They've devalued it. They've floated your currency, because these were the conditions given to them before they gave them the loans that got you here. You see this one they want to go and get again. Let them continue to doctor the book. Inflation is coming down. Nigerian naira is gaining is blah, 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 blah. Foreign reserve is increasing. And all those lies and nonsense they told you, but yet you can't feel it anywhere. Like you are supposed to be feeling it and say, oh, it's true. Yeah. So these are the lies. You know, so they are going on now to go and get an extra 41 trillion. Why do you need 41 trillion if you are making so much money? Nobody is stealing the crude oil anymore, Abi. I'm just asking. You know, so why do you need so much money? And what are the conditions? So by the time they take on this, by the time they take on this, then you should be so ready for another round of propaganda, gaslighting, blackmail, lies, everything they can to make you believe that now you be the problem. Now you know they wish Nigeria well. You're always sad when you hear good news. God bless you, Jerry. They will say you are sad. You are a very sad person. Why are you not happy that Nigeria is getting good news? Because the good news is not news. It's a lie. And it's actually a very dangerous lie, in the sense that every lie told by this guy actually affects lives. There are lives involved. Ask them why. They told you something now because they know you're going to forget in the next 3 months. Then they will repackage it and retold. They will retell it again. And then you're going to be surprised. Yeah, really? Okay, yeah. And then they're going to do that again. That is the modus operandi of the APC. And it is ideal, right, to always remember that. So pay attention to what they are doing, not what they are saying. Labor Zoba. I mean, be that. They say it is always better when you are dealing with con men, fraudulent people. Pay attention to what they are doing, not what they say. Because words are just words. There are people that are very good with words. But watch what they are doing. It is what they are doing that tells the real story, not what they are saying. And that's the way I've been dealing with APC. If you know them very well, I do. I do. So again, I've let that out. I'll take a short break. And let's see if the line works. I've got a caller now. Let's see if it works. Hello there. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay. So I picked the call, right? So, and I hope, yeah, and I think the line is clear as well. If you can hear me.
Yeah,
so that means the line is clear.
Perfect. Loud and clear and perfect.
Fantastic. And who am I speaking to right now?
Yeah, my name is Shane. I actually want to, I don't know if you're actually aware about
right,
this crazy thing that went on in Ghana, where we had this guy that was actually looking at setting up a community. I think he said Igbo community, where people can come in and Igbos all over the world, they could come in and,
yeah, chill, like when you have this Chinatown, stuffs like that.
Exactly.
Where they can have, hotels, shopping centers, even schools, hospitals, and other. I know.
I called into a program a few days ago, and everybody on that program literally were against this guy creating this community. And I said, was it a crime in their constitution that he's trying to create a community where I looked at the constitution of Ghana? It said if anybody is interested in creating a community, there's no holding you back. There's nothing that stops you from creating. And I said, now I'm in New York. We have a Jewish community.
Yes.
I've never seen anybody coming against. And do you know they have a head? Someone that actually controls the Jews in New York.
I mean, it's normal practice. That's how people keep themselves together in foreign lands.
Outside Israel, they are concentrated in Brooklyn. And they have a head that controls every of their affairs. Somebody that they are subject to.
Yeah,
somebody
that rallies everybody around.
You understand what I'm talking about?
Common cause.
I now looked at it. I said, why is it when a black man is trying to set up something, most especially people look at the Igbos and say, oh, they do too much and all of that. What is the basis? Has he committed any crime?
It is unfortunate though, right? I've had this conversation, and there are Igbos themselves, right? There are Igbos who feels like sometimes, they're like, sometimes if people are treating us or want to treat you like this, how about you return such investment to the region? But that is kind of like, it's wrong in my own opinion, right? Because a lot of us, and there are other people who are possibly also living in Nigeria too, from other parts of the world. And I have examples. Look at the Indians. The Indians have, in all these parts, that Lekki, Free Trade Zone, all those areas, right? They have their own hectares of a place of recovered land there that they are building their own main Indian community there right now as we speak. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
And people, I don't know, Africans, right? People are comfortable. They have no problem with anyone who is not African, right? Yeah. If you are non-African and you come to Africa to do things in all these places where a lot of things happen, so people barely raise any eyebrow. But if you are an African in either Nigerian or anything, anywhere countries like South Africa and recently Ghana, right? It baffles. It baffles, man.
Yeah.
Papa?
You remember there's a place you said you were living in Lagos. I can't remember what that place. I think it's Ilupeju. You know we have this Indian community.
My neighbor, our neighbor for Ilupeju, along Fumi Street in Ilupeju, they are Indians in front of my house like this.
In large numbers.
In large numbers, if you go to Ilupeju Estate.
In large numbers. And nobody said a word that they should not come. And I was like, why is it that when the black man is trying to come up with something, he never commits any form of terrorism? No. They never charge anything. What is wrong with that? And most especially these Yorubas. I said, what is wrong with us?
It is mostly politically motivated. And you see, that's one thing I always want to be, make sure I clear on Mayegun's Diary Political. You see these guys who are pushing these rhetorics and these narratives, right? They themselves are, you can call them self-sabotaging Yorubas too. They do not represent the Yorubas. Because if you see how they treat their fellow Yorubas as well, it's worse than what they say to non-Yorubas. Just simply because if you cannot align with that Tifnumbu, because it's always been Tifnumbu's political tool. For those who knows him very well, people were asking, how did the likes of Tifnumbu take over Lagos? It wasn't because he gave money to the Lagosians, the real indigenous of Lagos, the real ones who are like the real Lagosians. So no, he didn't. They bullied them away.
I'm from Lagos.
Yeah,
I can't raise up my hand and say, okay, I want to vie for a position.
No anymore.
They would shut me down.
No anymore.
Use their thugs. I keep saying that people are not scared of the police, the army. The thugs on the street, because the thug he knows where you live. He knows when you go out to work. He knows when you go back. He knows when you sleep. So he who controls the street controls everything. So he has the street, so there's nothing we can do about it. So I don't know if people will start changing up their mind and just look at.
I'll tell you what will happen. Okay, I'll tell you something. I know this is like more or less like what they would say a surrender tactic, but it is not. I'll tell you. There was a time, Baba, because whatever Tifnumbu is doing right now, or those around him are doing, all these narratives they are pushing, we've never had it up to this national scale before, okay? But there's something so similar to it. And his name was Adedibu in Ibadan. Do you get that? You remember him? Man, this man was such a menace that you will be wondering, are there no real people in Ibadan, like elite in Ibadan? Are there no educated people in Ibadan? Are there no other powerful people in Ibadan? He lived like that.
He was actually copying Akitola.
Remember?
I think he was trying to use it. Yeah, exactly.
But where is he today? If you go to Malete today, you will never believe that this was once a place where they were making governors, ministers, and all those positions. This same place. You see something about Kalu, which a lot of people should be asking the Ronukus, is that what will happen after Kalu? Do you understand? Like, who is now going to come and fund this bigotry this way anymore?
I can't wait for that.
The real Yorubas are watching too. You get what I mean? That the real Yorubas are watching, and majority of them just keeping quiet. They did such a dirty job, right? They ensured that they made the normal, as a Yoruba person, if somebody insults me and insult my tribe, right? In that manner, I can do anything, including going a verbal attack on that person too. Sure, you get?
Absolutely.
Because that's something that will probably make me feel satisfied that, oh, your people. Then it got to a stage, I was like, man, I'm gonna. You see this bigotry that we are talking about? Do you know that majority of the people who have joined their bigotry, they actually didn't like Tifnumbu?
Absolutely, you're right.
So many of them actually hated APC. But somehow,
the last election actually showed now.
You get? So somehow, the Ronukus have managed to convince them that those who are criticizing Tifnumbu, they are not doing so because of Tifnumbu. They are doing so because he's a Yoruba man. And why? When you read online, you see some people say, man, these Yorubas don't spoil this country. Now Yorubas, they support this nonsense. So me as a Yoruba person who doesn't have any discerning mind, I'll be like, I'm not supporting him. okay, you know what? If you are insulting my tribe, if you are insulting my people, then I'm going to insult yours too. Mind you, I'm not with Tifnubu. So the Ronukus have been able to leverage on it that they didn't even have to do much. All they have to do is just go and say something about the Igbos. And the Igbos will attack. And as a Yoruba person reading it, I will not feel comfortable and be like, look, see what this person said about Yoruba. Now Google kill you. You this Igbo, this Igbo, this Igbo, that Igbo. And that's what they want. The job is done.
It's terrible. It's terrible. In fact, it goes to the next thing. I was speaking to one of my aunts. She was like, the Igbo, their own is too much. They keep saying, I said, look, you are in the UK. Because we actually did a visa for us to just come and, see. I have a younger brother in the UK.
Right.
Look around you. There are different sets. There are Bangladesh. They are Pakistani. They don't live among people. Like the Jews, they don't live among anybody. They section themselves. I said, so what is wrong with me saying that I want to stay with my own kind of people, with my own kind of culture?
To have our own small, well, tightly knitted community. It happens everywhere.
A particular time, when I was in Lagos, I sent this guy. He's also an Igbo guy. Then I never had a visa. I sent money to him. He's going to get stuff from me, send it back to Nigeria. So eventually I got a visa. Now got to the United States. I said, okay, you know what? Since I'm in the United States, you are back home. I'll buy whatever it is I need to buy. I'll buy it, send it to you. You help me sell and all of that.
Yep.
Exactly. Along the line, things got rough. I sent some products. I never got back my money. So now I have to use that same, because of what I actually experienced, and leave it every other.
Because all you will need is that just need to hear one or two people to say the same thing and be like, now so that they do. Meanwhile, somebody else is going to come and say, oh, my best number one business partner is a Yoruba man. Or is an Igbo man.
So why would I use that yardstick to judge? I said,
it's deliberate.
So sad. And I expected, like, all these are religious leaders, and I expected them to come up and, because if you go to their church,
to educate the people, but no, they are building on it.
God.
They are all building on it.
I expected the Adeboye Oyedepo to come out and dig in on this thing. Look, this is not what we stand for. We have Igbos in this church. We have Yoruba. We have every other person in this church.
Baba, what about the Igbos in APC? Baba, they have Igbo governors, APC governor. They have Igbo ministers.
And they're not saying a word.
They have Igbo senators. They have Igbo this, Igbo that. Within that space, Baba, what happened to those ones? Are they also like being... God damn it, man.
They're also feasting for me. They're also feasting from the chaos.
And now everybody's feasting on it now, feeding from it, Baba.
I don't know.
If you listen to the politician, you listen to politician, somebody will say, you see, we all need to come together. In fact, our brother from the east, they need to learn how to assimilate. Now, politicians, they talk that on TV. Politicians, they talk that thing on TV. Say our southeast brothers, they need to learn how to come together and let us all come together in this country instead of us being divided. What are you talking about? Why would you go on TV and begin to make it look like, oh, the Igbos are... Have you not been hearing such rhetoric, Baba? Like everybody, they are advising the East. We are advising the East. It's all deliberate. It's called dog whistle, Baba.
You remember what happened in Rwanda? This is the same thing that happened in Rwanda. Where they
slowly push a build near now. That's how it built up now.
And within 5 days, they killed 800,000 people within 5 days. With human being, no? With what? Not with gun.
They don't get gun, no, Baba. You know what is even like shocking, There are 800,000 people killed in those days, Baba. They don't use one gun like this. Now machete, they are macheting themselves, stoning people, planking people to death. 800,000. Imagine they get gun.
If it's not that it's a deliberate, you say something very, very correct. You said, look at Tinubu, look at what Tinubu was the architect of this. He has never for once come out and said, look,
it won't.
This has to stop. We have to criminalize whoever it is that is trying to
build. Yeah, that's why he built his political success on. They called Jimmy Agbaje. They called him Jimmy Shuku.
Just imagine.
Just so that they can say he's representing the Igbo. So this is their trade. This is them. They called him Jimmy Shuku. Jimmy has nothing to do. Jimmy Agbaje, Baba, I'll take another one. Yeah.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Baba. Thank you so much as well for stopping by. Now let's have this. This may be Charm. Zalidi, Lady Charm.
Hello, Maego. Good afternoon.
Ma. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I joined your platform today.
Yes, so I mean, I didn't forget to connect the line this time. Yesterday was funny, right? I was doing everything so rush. Then I was like, oh yeah, let's take calls now, but I forgot we are now using a new broadband, not the one again. So I've got to change that. But I discovered late, then I just built. But I think it's working now.
Yeah, so I think so. I mean, obviously, I've gotten to you. I'm fine, thank you. I'm good. Enjoying the British weather.
Yeah, we thought we should have a conversation around those who are trying to steer the honest nest right now by causing unnecessary division. And the Ronukus are weaponizing that, as if to say the Igbos are begging to be Yoruba or begging to be any other indigene of anywhere.
Listen, Michael, let's imagine that you had a country where you didn't see, like, the Yoruba man didn't see the Igbo man as a problem, or the Igbo man didn't see, the Yoruba man as a problem, or, just that the tribes that we all got along, right? Okay, imagine, forget about, tribes getting along. Imagine you have a Yoruba nation, right? Where they had no other, no other tribes in there, okay? When would your politicians wake up and tell you it was your problem? Can they get up and say to you that, oh, is Yoruba, the Igbo man is your problem? You look around, there's no Igbo person there. They will ask you, what are you talking about? There are no Igbos here.
So no one to blame here.
So no one to blame, no one to, label and say, okay, these are the people who are causing your problem. These are the people who are, it's because of them, things are not working the way they're meant to work. When the politicians don't have that, right, then they can't control the people. But as long as, like you've always said, right, all of this division is a tool, and the tool is the tactic is not a new tactic. And in fact, the truth of the matter is that
but themselves, I think
it has been designed well by by the imperialists before handing over the country to whoever they handed it over. The reason why, you see, these Oyibo people, let me say Oyibo, these imperialists, because not all of them, let's not paint all of them with one brush, but the so-called establishment, right? When they carved up Africa the way they carved it up, right? Don't think they didn't know what they were doing. They knew exactly where the Yorubas were. They knew exactly where the Igbos were. They knew where the Hausas were. They knew where everyone was, right? But they did what they did, not to foster cohesion, but to ensure that we're always going to be fighting each other while, they do whatever they need to do. Okay?
I agree.
So it's going to take a, from your previous caller, right? The religious leaders are not talking about it, because again, this situation benefits them. When you cannot attack the direct cause of your poverty, you say pray about it. And I'm not saying that prayer is not good, but at the end of the day, aren't you supposed to be holding some people accountable? Aren't you supposed to be holding some people responsible? And say if you were holding those people responsible and accountable, right, we won't be in this situation. You won't have to pray for light. You won't have to pray for water. You don't have to pray for work. You don't have to pray for anything really in a country that actually works, And especially a country like Nigeria where the resources are there. And I've always even argued with people outside of the so-called natural resources that we have. The human resources are by far our best export.
It is the best resource. The abundance human resources that exist in that place. It's like, man, hey, go on.
It's as far as I'm concerned, I think people say, okay, yes, Nigerians, we are proud and everything. I really don't care. One of the most intelligent race, the most intelligent people come from this side of the world. Whether we want to argue it or not, you can go abroad, they'll tell you that, the most people with education, I'm not talking about Nigerian education, that we don't know what's happening there. But even when we go to what they call it, when you come to the UK, the US, anywhere, you understand? Nigerians are at the top, and I'm not saying it because I'm in Nigeria, but it is factual.
I mean, is that not Charm? Is that not where we draw the sort of the comparison and the conclusion, or from the conclusion of brain drain, where people who have been denied access to adequate facilities of anything at all, whether it is in the academia, in the sporting, what have you, or name it, even in business, right? They get to excel so well the moment they get exposed to a system that works. And from there, we are like, oh my God, the best surgeon who is
the best surgeon, the best neurosurgeon,
the best this is from this, the best, you know what I mean? Like the brain drain. So you are right. You're not making that up. Go on.
So not even the natural resources, like I said, the human capital, the human resources are our best exports. You have countries like Malaysia, or I think Malaysia, one of these countries where they didn't really have a lot, but they had people. Yes. They were training their doctors. They trained their people to be doctors and nurses. They then export. I don't know what arrangement they have, but that worked for the country. So to say that we're not able to capitalize on this and move our countries forward, do you understand? Boggles the mind. So I think, for me, sometimes I'm just even fed up. I'm just even like tired. You're talking about anybody who is born
more and more distraction, more and more divisions, and the real issues are being ignored to fester.
The real issues are being ignored. Like this whole if you are born here in this country, like what's your program? If you are born here in the state, you can run for. Listen, we've gone past that. Yes. Do you understand? If you are not going to address the root problem, if you are not going to address the division that you see on ground, and you think that doing all of this, what they call it, putting sellotape over the problem is going to make it work. It's not going to make it work. It's something that's going to burst. As it is right now, let us tell ourselves the truth. We are a divided people.
We are.
Okay? We are not
and anything
one.
That is going to actually, if they really want to build a country, what should bring people together should be their priority, not work for that divides them. But it seems the latter is theirs. Go on.
Not what, like you said, not what further divides them. And all of this, what they call it, glossing or painting it over, or using, this so-called, let me just say, sellotaping over it, to make it seem as if, okay, if we do this, then everything will be fine. No, it's not going to be that's not going to be the solution. The solution is for you to actually do a referendum, whether you like it or not, just whatever the outcome of that referendum, just the same way. Just the same way we did Brexit, whatever the outcome, even as somebody who voted during Brexit, right? I voted against Brexit because I felt that we were not being given the full picture of what Brexit, the full information of what Brexit is going to be. What's going to be do you have any plans for after? And it happened that way. But we're living post-Brexit. We're living with the bad decisions, the good decisions, whatever.
Exactly.
We're living with it, right? So why don't you be brave enough? If you're so certain that, we can be one country, put it to the test, take it out there to the people, ask them themselves if they still want to be one country.
And that is the only way you can get their true cooperation, right?
Exactly.
If people say, okay, we chose this, now they will live with it, they will support it, right? And they will bleed for it. But that is not what you have in that place. No, they are always imposing. Criminals believing that they are smarter than the rest of us to know what we deserve. And we always end in the same place, the same horrible place every time.
Every time. And again, to me, I even feel that there's a part of them, there must be a part of them that knows that all this, all these things that they're doing is not going to work. It's not going to change anything. No. You have, for example, Rose Vival, whose mother is Igbo, his father is Yoruba, but he's a Yoruba, but he was born in Lagos, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he came up to run for governorship. What was he told?
The land where they built the current city hall in Lagos was given to the government by GRV's father. Just so you know that they are not just people living in Lagos Island, though. They are
Lagos. When you want to talk about the history of Lagos,
his grandfather happened to be one of the judges, so early judges of that same Lagos. So, but go on.
Yeah, so he's more Lagosian. He's more Lagosian than Sanwo-Olu that is there, and Tinubu that is there. He's more Lagos. He has more rights to call himself a Lagosian than many of the people who have run Lagos and acted like Lagos belongs to them. But look at it now. And you're now telling us that, okay, this law, if we put it into effect, if it becomes law tomorrow, right, it's supposed to solve all the problems. Who is going to interpret that law to your Ronukus or the Abeokuta?
And say,
who's going to tell them that this is the new law?
They say, your name is, my name is, Chioma Charm. Say, oh, beautiful. Say, where are you from? They say, well, I'm in
Lagos State.
No, live in Lagos State. Everybody can claim Lagos. I'm taking you to the core Yoruba land now. You say, where are you from? I say, well, I'm an indigene of Ijebu. Say, wait, hang on. I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? No, it's a new law in Nigeria. I've lived in Ijebu for 10 years, so I'm not Ijebu. Say, really? But are you still Igbo? Yes, I am. I say, they want to create more confusion, identity crisis.
Exactly.
We don't agree.
More confusion, more division, know. So the question, I think what we need to, because clearly, and every time people talk about the government should do this, the government should do that, the government should do the other, the politicians, it's almost as if we are not paying attention or that we don't know who we're dealing with. These people are not prepared. No. Whether that is their mission that they've been given, right, to ensure that this status quo remains. Because this status quo, the way Nigeria is at the moment, is beneficial to some.
Yes.
It's beneficial to the establishment. Because one, your people are poor, your people are illiterate, right? And as long as we remain illiterate, that illiteracy allows for us, for the criminal politicians to continue to...
And when we are talking about literacy and illiteracy, please, we should also be very clear that it is not just about knowing how to read and write makes you literate too. We have problem with educated illiterates right now too, who are actually conflating and confusing everything right now. But go on, Charm. Before I take another one,
I don't disagree with you that if we do have problems with the so-called people who are supposedly literate, right, acting illiterate as well. But the problem is that we now have too many. We don't have a lot of critical thinkers, is what I'm saying. So in the absence of let's say, even if you have 50% of your people thinking critically, right, that should be able to move the needle enough. But as it is right now, there are just not a lot of people thinking critically. Like you said, even the so-called some that you would assume that they were literate, right? And then they should be able to reason things, in a way that makes sense. Okay, logically and things like that. But that's not happening. So as long as the people remain impoverished, as long as the people remain poor and illiterate, right, Nigeria is never going to be a country that can be reckoned with. Do you see what I'm saying?
So much,
so now the question is then, how do we as a people, since we are not in power, that's the question is, how do we then effect change? I think that's where we are at right now. How do we effect change? Because we're not politicians. And the politicians you have are never going to do the right things, which is to actually move the country in the direction it's supposed to go, or to ask the deep questions, like you said. Do we still want to be a country together? Like for me as a Biafran, I want Biafra land. Simple and short. So I know where my own vote is going. But that's the question that we need to start asking ourselves, the political things that we need to start pushing for. Let me let other people speak.
Bless you, Charm. Thank you so much for stopping by. So it seems that our lines is quite working well, I would say. So I have Prince Adewale, the African Wahala, all the way from Canada now, right?
Yes, sir. Good morning, brother.
Good morning to you, Baba. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
The conversation this morning is just like all over the place. So which of them do you want to kind of like pick first?
Let me start by giving a solution. We need to overhaul Nigeria through a major revolution that will change everything about the entire system. Like we all have alluded to, we don't have a country, but it's a pretend country. And
a pretend country.
The citizens are pretend citizens. In real life, the citizens are victims of a pretend country. So ultimately, we need a revolution. I don't know how that's going to happen, but we're going to need to overhaul the entire system destroy it and rebuild from scratch. That's my own personal opinion.
Right.
But
starting from scratch, indeed, is great because that's the proposal, right? Let the people decide. Do you want to still be one country in this way, or which way? Or do you want us to go our separate ways and everybody just go and run his own affairs and all that? People are meant to decide. People are already giving instances. Somebody gave the Brexit example. We are all living post-Brexit right now. Wherever did that decision years ago, wherever it's leading us right now, we have no choice but to make it work, right? Another person just mentioned the Quebec. That's from your neighbors in Canada. They said twice they've attempted to secede from Canada. They conducted their own referendums twice, and twice the people of Quebec decided to remain with Canada. Do you understand? So, and there's something people need to understand. I'm sorry, African Wala. There's something people need to understand about conversations like this, right? It is always going to be a win-win situation. That's why people are wasting their energy in trying to want to participate in a charade election, which is going to be rigged, which people are going to be killed, resources are going to be wasted, and everybody's going to be back to square one, and then you will get yourself ready again for 2031, right? So why can't people push for the breakup of this contraption? Because here is this, if Nigeria no even break, each region, each people will get something better than what you currently have right now. Because here is what will happen. As those who want to keep Nigeria, presently are not under pressure. They believe that nothing can happen. But if you build real momentum of let's go our separate ways, even if it's just the southern Nigeria alone that we're able to push and say, let's go our separate, and it becomes a momentum. Now, you know what that will mean is that Nigeria will have to start promising southern Nigeria things to stay. Do you get that? Oh, okay. Do you want us to give you autonomy? Do you want to be controlling this and that? Oh, yeah, take. Just don't go. Stay. We need a generation with such political horror because it's going to be a win-win. But majority of those who are going to benefit from it are those who are also slicing to kill it. The African Wahala.
My Igbo general. Thank you so much for that breakdown, because that's what we need to get. It's a common
sense thing now. Here you get somebody who don't want me, you go. They offer you something than what you have right now. You will be saying, okay, if you want us to stay and not follow these people to their new country, oh yeah, give us this. So yeah, take them. Oh yeah, give us that one too. Yeah, take them. People don't understand that, do they?
The problem that exists is that most victims of Nigeria don't think that way. All they know is Nigeria. And they genuinely believe that they are Nigerian. And they genuinely believe that that's all what they have. Unfortunately, the vast majority of the victims of Nigeria, all they have mentally is Nigeria. And that's why you find people like us that have managed to make something decent for ourselves outside of Nigeria. We are the ones that are very angry. We are the ones that are like screaming and complaining. We are so upset when we see these politicians looting our future, destroying everything. We are so upset when we see that our so-called country that delivers nothing but poverty to us, foreigners are coming into the country and making billions. And then they are making fun of us that, oh, you guys ran away. You are watching bomb abroad. You guys are watching bomb abroad while foreigners are coming to make money in your country. So it's a loss. We've already lost. Now, if you look at the psychology of an average victim of Nigeria, I was watching a guy that was interviewing Agberos in Lagos. These Agberos, their lives have been completely destroyed.
Yes, sir.
They are drug infested. They are disease infested. They are poverty stricken. They are one foot in the grave, most of them. But these same people that their lives have been destroyed, they were asked about their political choices for 2027. All of them said, So what does that tell us, my brother? That means we that have better lives and are angry about the way Nigeria is run, we are still joking, because the vast majority of Nigerians that are suffering, they love the system.
They do.
They will go back and support the politicians that ruin the system. You see, it's a major problem that we are facing.
It is.
I also wanted to touch on the topic of when people are hostile towards other people because of their ethnic groups or their tribe or whatever, like what we saw in Ghana. Ghanaians are sick and tired of Nigeria. It's not only Ghanaians that are sick of us. South Africans are sick of us. A lot of people around the world are tired of us. It's not because we are bad people in general, but a lot of our people are horrible, if we are being honest. Finally, if we are living in a society where you are poverty-stricken and you find foreigners coming into your community and they are doing well, it's going to create jealousy and it's going to create hostility. And that's why there is a huge anti-immigration sentiment
going all over the
in
world
many parts of the world these days. Because a lot of people are broke. A lot of people are poor. A lot of these Caucasian people that we used to look up to back in the days, they are poor today, and they are looking for the
for who to blame.
Exactly. It's so bad, bro. In America, many so-called Black Americans, and no disrespect to my Black American people, but many of them these days are drawing a line. They don't even want to be related to African people. They're like, we're not African, we're indigenous to this land. So everywhere in RUGA, everybody does the same for everybody, everywhere, all over the world.
You know what somebody told me? Somebody said, no, not me. He actually posted it online. And I don't agree with that statement too. But it got me thinking, all right? So he said, look at South Africans, right? Especially the Black South Africans who blame foreigners, you know, and they become so xenophobic and all that, right? And when you meet them, they will tell you, oh, our country was supposed to be good for us. But look at us. Only foreigners, they've taken all over the place. Our homes, our schools, our hospitals, we are now queuing to see doctors and all that. We don't have jobs because they are doing cheap jobs. We don't have, our business doesn't thrive simply because they are selling cheap product. Blaming foreigners. Somebody now posted and said, let's be honest though, if you look at the level of bigotry that the Ronukus are pushing about Lagos and around Tifnumbu, as well as others who have also, you know, who are non-Yorubas, who have also joined in the bigotry themselves, pushing their own bigotry. That person said, Omo, if to say Nigeria was actually like a working country, like a country that works, that Nigerians will be one of the most racist people on earth. It got me thinking, because I have actually met educated, tribalistic, racist Nigerians. I've met them. You know, they will say black man can't be racist. I'm like, are you joking? Have you heard people speak? Because they don't see themselves as like, you know, to them it's like, it's nothing. I'm just saying the truth. No, you're not saying the truth, man. So that person now said that if Nigeria was a working place, like they did to the Ghanaians in the 80s, that Ghana must go, Ghana must go.
Yes.
They will do it to any African countries today and say, don't come to our country. Don't come here and come and take our jobs. Don't come here and come and use our this. I don't agree with it 100% too, but there is some iota of truth.
Me, I agree,
we are being honest.
Michael.
Yeah.
So you know this thing that we always see that most Nigerians, it's not like they hate oppression. They just hate that they are the ones being oppressed. They will support an oppressor if it's someone that they love. That tells me that if Nigeria was one of the most wealthiest countries in the world, and Nigerians had enslaved other people, Nigerians would be one of the most racist, evil people in the world. That's my own conclusion about the Nigerian state. But finally, let me just make this last point.
Yep.
Going back to the Biafran war, They used food blockade to starve and kill millions of people. That's what Nigeria did to the Biafrans.
Yes.
It's the same thing going on right now in another part of the world between Israel and Palestine. And I'll be honest, for the first time in my life, I actually placed the suffering of other people over our own African people, the suffering of the Palestinians. Because we are seeing it everything on social media.
I know.
We are watching live stream videos of babies being massacred, and it's unfair. It shouldn't be. Unfortunately, we too in Africa, free Africa, free Nigeria, free Congo, free Ethiopia, free Sudan, free other places, but most importantly, free Palestine. That's the message I wanted to give.
Bless you.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Enjoy the rest of your morning, okay? And have a wonderful
yes, sir.
That's the African Wahala, ladies and gentlemen. Unsolicited. Is that the name? Let me check it properly. Unsolicited. I saw your comment earlier, and I intend to make some corrections, okay? Just so that you two, maybe you are going to agree with me. There is nothing wrong that the Igbos want Biafra. And D1, please, you happen to be somebody I've been like seeing as a regular on my Egun's Diary political. Don't ever, right, talk about the IPOB in the way you posted it in that comment. I'm going to ignore you now, okay? So nobody should come onto my Egun's Diary political to use an opportunity or an undercover opportunity to send their slanders and their slurs, not to the Igbos, not to the IPOB, not to my Egun's Diary political. Let's be very clear about that, okay? Don't ever talk about the IPOB like that on this platform. So unsolicited. Now let's take a look at your comment. Your comment said, sometimes you are kind of like unsure, because on one hand, sorry, my caller, if you can hear me, stay on, please. You said, on the one hand, the Igbos are shouting Biafra, Biafra. And then on the other hand, the Igbos want one Nigeria, one Nigeria. That is a complete misrepresentation of things, unsolicited. But I'll break it into two. The first one is that as of today, this day, I'm not sure about tomorrow. That contraption consists of the Igbos as well, which means millions of them are currently trapped in that contraption. And by standard, they have every right like everyone else until when they cease to be part of Nigeria. I'll give you an example. You just kind of like typed one too, referring to African Wahala's country, Canada. Apart from Quebec, Alberta, did you say Alberta also planning to leave? Quebec has attempted to leave Canada to become an independent country twice. Alberta, I think, have attempted it once, or they are about to attempt it to leave Canada and be on their own. But guess what? Until a referendum is held, until that conclusion is reached, Albertans, Quebecans, they will continue, as they are paying their taxes, living in that place, they will continue to enjoy 100% rights and benefits of being Canadians. Let's be very, very clear. I mean, sorry, let's be very serious here. That somebody wants Biafra doesn't mean that they don't have any right again in that place. They can contest to be president. They can contest to be anything. They can run for any goddamn thing in that contraption if they choose to. So let's sound educated, please. I mean, we are still referring to educated people who are trying to make things more complicated for God knows why. That I want Yoruba nation doesn't mean that I've lost my rights of being part of Nigeria. If I choose to forfeit that right and say I'm not interested anymore, that is mine. Nobody can even take it from me. That you don't like me, that you don't want me, or this, it doesn't matter. Do you get that now? So as long as you are part of that country, until, even if the Igbos vote 49% of them says they want to leave Nigeria, and 51% says they want to stay, and then they stay. The right of the 49% goes back straight to 100. Nothing changes it. That's the normal thing. Oh. Is that what you call them? Quebecers. I'm sorry, your country is a country with two, with two languages. English, two sections, English and French, I think. Pardon me, okay? So Quebecers. Is that what you call them? Right? So Joy, we are doing our best to make sure that the narrative of the Ronukus and all of that, which is mostly ignorant and then backward, right? So we need to understand that there are Igbos who don't want Nigeria anymore. There are Igbos who still want Nigeria. That is where referendum comes in. The Igbos will decide. Those who want Nigeria will vote no to Biafra. Those who don't want Nigeria again, they will vote yes to Biafra. They will count yes and no votes. If they have more no, the Igbos will remain in Nigeria, and nothing must happen to their right. Nothing. Do you understand? I have been part of that. Nobody's that they talk for head. I have participated in the referendum. I have campaigned for the independence of Scotland. As somebody from Nigeria, if not now, they go say, look at this Yoruba man. He's supporting maybe you can say that to me. A Yoruba man supporting the breakup of Britain, and he's supporting the one Nigeria. That won't be me though. But I supported the breakup of Scotland, independence of Scotland. I campaigned boldly. And then we lost. And nothing changed. It was like we had a referendum yesterday. The result is out, and everybody's like, oh no, we have to do it again. The following day, everybody just went back to their normal life. There's nothing that changed. Okay, maybe something changed because they had to give us some certain things. They had to cede us some power and all of that, sharing this and that. We didn't lose the referendum. We gained more power for Scotland, which protected people like myself, people like me in Scotland, in the whole of Britain, right? So please, that I don't want to be part of this anymore, does not for any reason reduce my rights, as long as I am still within that space. That's what a union should be like. But that's not what you have. It is like the Ronukus as well, right? The Ronukus, they want Ifnobu to be president of Nigeria, but they don't want the Igbos to be in Lagos. Meanwhile, Lagos is part of Nigeria. So if you want a place where you can tell people to leave, don't come here. Go back to your region. Go back to your place. What you need to do is to ask for the breakup of Nigeria. Now, only uneducated mofos, right, will think you can tell anybody from part of Nigeria to leave your space, but you still want to be the president of Nigeria. You want to government that not to shake with me. So I don't want us to be sounding like the Ronukus, and we are trying here to diffuse the poisoned minds on all sides, because the only beneficiary from all this rhetoric, divisive rhetorics, are no other than the criminal politicians. So, Joe. Sorry, Johnny, I'm trying to catch up on a few things here, right? They are sending me my pension total. It looks good. Anyway, so my line is still open. No, it is not anymore. I think our time is up now. Sorry about that. So I'm going to go get myself ready for later this evening if I see you later this evening. So I want to say thank you to every one of you here this afternoon. The callers, the viewers, the commenters, the sharers, and everyone. So I will see you again. And until then, right, please, I am only doing my own bit to see if we can diffuse the lies that keeps us so divided and prevent a possible bloodshed that the criminal politicians are indeed fueling, in my own opinion. So enjoy the rest of your morning, or afternoon. So I will see you later. So good afternoon.
Máyégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún dáyàrí pòlítíkò.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún dáyàrí Náíbì nọ́mbà wán.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Àyè.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ̀ bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù máyé ń ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.